1984. Literally 1984. It was a great year for all this stuff, but was it a great year for music? Well, that's what I'm here to find out by rating all of 1984's #1 songs out of 10. And I'm also here to show off my cool copy of 1984 by George Orwell. I mean, look at that cover. Remind you of anything that's been in the news recently? Me neither. It's taken me longer than expected to make this video, mainly because we've had nice weather here in the UK. So instead of sitting at home making these videos, I've been sitting at the pub, spending $8.90 for a neck oil. $8.90. Daylight robbery. So let's all do some rain dances, hope for a wet summer, so that I make more videos and stop getting ripped off at the pub. Although the World Cup is now going on, look at my cool wall chart. And depending on how England do, my next videos may be more delayed, but we'll see. And because this video has been delayed, I've had more time, I've become more mature, I've grown up since my last video. So there's gonna be no more cheap innuendo, no more jokes about jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs. Sting, double triple quadruple. None of that, no more of that. If you want any of that, watch literally any of my other videos, it's full of it. And on that note, Pipes of Peace by Paul McCartney. I think this is the first proper mention of Paul McCartney I've had on this channel, and in between his solo stuff, Wings, and that other band he was in, I'm sure I'll be talking about him a lot more. And if you haven't noticed yet, I'm one of those annoying guys. If you ask me Paul or John, I'd say George. If you ask me Oasis or Blur, I'd say Pulp. But a lot of my favourite Beatles songs are Paul songs. He's just good at putting emotion into his lyrics and melodies. But at the same time, a lot of my least favourite Beatles songs are also Paul songs. They just get a bit too schmaltzy for me, if I'm using that word correctly. I think I am, let me check. Schmaltzy is an adjective used to describe something that is overly sweet or corny. Yeah, that is right. That is how I feel about some of Paul's songs, including Pipes of Peace. It's a nice enough song, I guess, but it's just too schmaltzy. Too much schmaltz for me. Not his schmaltziest song by any means, and not his worst either. But I just still don't really enjoy schmaltz or seeing it at the top of the charts. So I'm gonna score Pipes of Peace a pair of -2s. One for the song itself and one for the fact that it got to #1. For a total of -4 out of 10. It hurts to give Paul McCartney a -4, but don't blame me. Blame the people of 1984 who made this #1. If they didn't do that, I wouldn't have had to give him a -4. And the Beatles, they had, I think, 18 #1s, so he's got a lot of chances to redeem himself. So if you are an angry Paul McCartney fan, just relax. As Frankie Goes to Hollywood said. Yeah, that's right. Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. An absolutely massive song, and spoiler alert, 1984 is full of absolutely massive songs. I mean, look at the chapters down here. Look at the songs that are coming up. Massive, 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 massive. If there's one thing I love, it's when a song with really suggestive lyrics gets banned by the BBC, so it doesn't get played on the radio, but it goes to #1 anyway, and that's exactly what's happened here. We had it in 1991 with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter by Iron Maiden, although not really suggestive lyrics, I guess. If that's what gets you going, I'm not gonna judge. But obviously, given the fact that it got banned and how explicit the lyrics are, I mean, look at this, listen to this bit. I'm gonna have to give it a 5 for reaching #1. I mean, how can I not? Great job, people of 1984. I slagged you off earlier, but you're actually all right, I think. The song itself is, it's a classic, isn't it? When it comes to 80s dancey music, I don't like all the bubblegummy stuff. I agree with Morrissey about hanging the DJs when that sort of stuff comes on. Probably the only thing I agree with Morrissey on. But in terms of dance songs, if they're dark and moody like this one, then I'm all in, let's go. So it's a good song. Add on top of that the filthy lyrics, absolutely disgusting. Disgusting, even I wouldn't say something that filthy. Well. Jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs. And add on top of that, this was their debut single. What a way to announce yourself to the world. Welcome, Frankie. I need to listen to Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, the album that this is on, because, spoiler alert again, this album had 3 #1s. 3. all in 1984. Can you believe it? But I'm not scoring the song a 3, so relax. I'm gonna have to score it another 5, I think, for a total score of 10 out of 10 for Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Well done, Frankie. Well done, Frankie. But you know what's a bigger number than 10? 99.
99 red balloons floating in the summer sky.
No, nothing has changed. What are you on about? Yes, 99 red balloons, not 99 Luftballons, which is a shame for me, for Nena, for everyone in the UK, because the original German song is just so much better. It hits so much harder. But for whatever reason, the charts company, in their infinite wisdom, decided to count all sales of both songs as one and call it 99 Red Balloons. I did German at school, got an A by the way, so anyone in Deutschland, wo ist mein Essen, am I right? So listening to the original is like listening to a Harry Kane interview. Even though I can understand only about every third word, I'm sure whatever's being said is great. 99 Luftballons would get a 10, but we have to talk about 99 Red Balloons instead, which is still alright, it's still alright. The lyrics are good, but the way she's singing is just not the same. It sounds like she's singing in her second language or something. I don't know why that is. But even though 99 Red Balloons is the inferior version, I'm still gonna give it a 2. And even though it's technically not a foreign language song, it does sort of feel like one still. So I'm gonna give it a 4 for reaching number 1. So let's turn that 99 upside down and then amputate it. And we get 6 out of 10 for 99 Red Balloons. Next song is another massive one. It's Hello by Lionel Richie.
Is it me you're looking for?
I'll be honest, I wasn't looking for you, Lionel, but now that I found you, I'm glad I have, because even though this song now I feel like is mainly used as a bit of a jokey way in TV shows and films, it's actually a pretty great song. In terms of Hello songs, I'd say it goes 4 Oasis, 3 Adele, 2 Lionel Richie, and number 1 The Book of Mormon. But that's some great Hello songs there, plus Oasis. Lionel's Hello is probably the cheesiest out of all of them, but he just makes it work. It's got the schmaltz, but just a little bit, just a little sprinkle. Paul McCartney could take lessons, take notes from this. There is some schmaltz, but it's balanced out by the melancholy as well. So it's not pure schmaltz, diluted. Schmaltz squash. I was gonna give the song a 3, but then the guitar solo hit, and I was like, ooh. Pretty tidy guitar solo. I wish it went on for a little bit longer. So I'm gonna give the song a 4. This song was number 1 for 6 weeks, which I feel like is on the edge. It's probably the max upper limit of how long a song can be number 1 for before it gets annoying. Even the best song of all time, if it was number 1 for 6 weeks, you'd be like, any longer than that, I'd get worried. If I Love You Honey Bear by Father John Misty, if it was number 1 for 7 weeks, even I'd be skipping that when I heard it. But 6 I can deal with, so I'm gonna give it another 4 for reaching number 1, for a total score of 8 out of 10. Next up was The Reflex by Duran Duran. Duran Duran, another absolutely massive artist. I assume that they must have had about 10 number 1s, but I looked and no, they've only had 2, and one of them is The Reflex. I don't think I've ever heard this song before making this video. I knew Rio, Girls on Film, the other one, Hungry Like the Wolf, that's it, and didn't really care for any of them. But listening to The Reflex, I was surprised at how much more energetic, how much more funkier it was than those songs. And I looked on the song credits and who was involved, only bloody Nile Rodgers. In my mind, Duran Duran were always on the same sort of level as like Take That, bands like that, Spandau Ballet, and maybe they are, but with this song at least, it sounds like Talking Heads. It's great. Like if Talking Heads played this and stopped making sense right before Girlfriend Is Better, it would fit perfectly. I don't think I can give many compliments that are higher than that. I don't think that this song is a 5, but I think it's a very strong 4. It's definitely the best Duran Duran song I've ever heard, so great choice to make it number 1, people of 1984. I'll give it another 4 for that, for a total score of 8 out of 10. Next, it's another massive song. It's Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham.
Wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo.
It is catchy and upbeat, but it's just a little bit too bubblegummy for me. Wham being played on the radio is what inspired the lyrics to Panic by the Smiths, so I can't hate them too much for that. But I feel like Wham Wham is for little girls. George Michael's solo stuff is for fully grown women like me. That's why I prefer George Michael's solo stuff. And even though I don't really like many of Wham's songs, I do respect them in a way because George Michael was the sole songwriter and producer for most of them, including this one. And in terms of wake me up songs, I'd say Wake Me Up by Avicii is number 1. Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day is number 2. This is probably a distant third. There's a gap there between 2 and 3. It's not a terrible song. I was gonna give it a -1, but then just because of the way he says beats per minute, I'm gonna upgrade that to a 0. For reaching number 1, this was Wham's first number 1, and it's the first single off their second album. So this is their My Iron Lung, this is their Brian Storm. But unlike if those songs reach number 1, I'm pretty neutral on this reaching number 1. Actually, I'm completely neutral on it. And it was only number 1 for 2 weeks, so that's another 0, I think. For a total score of 0 out of 10. And from 2 zeros to 2 tribes. Frankie's second number 1 of the year. Surely at this point he's got enough money to go to Hollywood. Look out Hollywood, here I come, to quote Father John. We've got a very dramatic, Baroque sort of intro that sounds like something that would play when 2 gladiators walk out into the Colosseum. Very fitting. It sounds like what I imagine all the meatheads in the gym, all the jacked up geezers. That's what they hear in their head when they see me come through, walk up to the squat bar, take all the weights off, do half a squat, then take some mirror selfies and leave. Then it comes in with this guitar riff and these rhythms that I would describe as cocaine cowboy. And then it just goes from there into lyrics about nuclear war, slagging off Americans for starting loads of wars. You know, luckily both of those topics were consigned to the 80s and never happened again. But 2 Tribes, I like the message more than the delivery. It's like I've just got a letter through from the tax man saying I've paid too much tax and I'm about to get a refund. But it's been delivered by a postman whose favourite book is Project Hail Mary. It's still a good song though, so I'm gonna give it a 3. And for reaching number 1, I'm not really a political guy. I only really have 2 major political views that I feel strongly about. 1, war is bad. Controversial, I know. It is very brave of me to say that. And 2, slag off America at any possible moment. And this song combines both of those beliefs of mine. And the British public agreed, making this a number 1 for 9 weeks. 9 weeks. If I had a time machine, take me back 16th of June, 1984. I'll stay there until the 18th of August. That's how long this song was number 1 for, all of summer. So even though 9 weeks is too long for it being number 1, because of what the song's about, I'm gonna give it a 5. Well done. So 2 Tribes gets 8 tries. 8. 2 Tribes gets 8 tries. 2 Tribes, 8 out of tribe. Next is another absolutely massive song. It's Careless Whisper by George Michael. I always imagine that this is the song that people hear in their heads anytime that I enter a room. Like it's my personal theme song. Actually, let's try it. Let's see what happens when I walk into the room, what song plays. Yes, I jizz in my pants. Well, that's not quite Careless Whisper, but it's pretty close. And this was George Michael's first solo song, but this wasn't him going solo. He'd still be in Wham for like another 2 years. This was just him getting some on the side. Poor Andrew. This is a pretty legendary song. I saw a YouTube comment recently that said half the world was conceived to Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. The other half was conceived to Careless Whisper by George Michael. That's insight to the sort of videos that I'm watching on YouTube. And Let's Get It On, fair enough, very sexy song. It sounds sexy, it's about being sexy. Great, I wish I was conceived to it. Careless Whisper, absolutely not. Who on earth is getting down and dirty to Careless Whisper? I mean, the sax riff, okay, that's a bit sexy, but everything else, no. It's a pretty heart-wrenching song about a breakup. If this song is resonating with you and you're getting down and dirty, you're getting down and dirty by yourself. The only children conceived to this song is if you're at a sperm bank donating sperm, you're in the little room where you do your business and there's a little gap in the door and you can hear over the radio they're playing Careless Whisper. I don't know what they call that room. Spunction room, sputility closet, one of those. If I think of a better one, I'll put it here. Anyway, it is an all-time classic, written and produced by George himself. Although Andrew Ridgeley allegedly provided the chords, but they're not exactly fancy chords. I think George could have done it by himself. But it's impossible for me not to give this a pair of 5s for a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 classic, come on. Next up, it's, oh, sorry, getting a phone call. Oh, it's bloody Stevie Wonder. All right, Stevie.
I just called to say I love you.
Ah, I love you too, Stevie. Thanks for calling, see you later. Similar to George Michael, this song, written and produced by Stevie himself, but he also played all the instruments himself. Hey, more like Stevie, very talented, am I right? IJCTISILY. Is that right? Probably quicker to just say the song name. I just called Say I Love You. Yeah, way quicker. Reminds me a bit of a Paul McCartney song actually. This could be a Paul Beatles song. It's dripping with that Macca schmaltz. Not as much as Pipes of Peace does, but it's definitely there. And it's probably got a little bit too much for my taste, just a little bit. And not to have a go at Stevie's lyrics, but he says about these 3 words that I must say to you. Then there's a pause, and the next 3 words he says are, I just called. It's like, wow. Hey babe, I just want to tell you something. I just called. Oh, wow. In terms of romantic 3 words that you could say to someone, that's up there with Binzer Tonight and Pass the Salt. But despite all that, for what the song is, I like it. It's fine for what it is. And it's got a great key change in it. So I'm gonna give it a 2. And for reaching number 1, it's a very sweet song. The people of 1984 needed some sweetness. You know, they had the 2 tribes going to war and all that other stuff that I showed earlier. So in those tense times, at least they were able to enjoy a sweet song like this. 6 blissful weeks at number 1. I'll give it a 3 for a total score of 5 out of 10. More like I just called 5 Say I Love You, am I right? Next up, it's another Wham song. It's Freedom.
I don't want your freedom.
Another number 1 for Wham, another one for George Michael. His 3rd of the year. And he actually had 4 number 1s in 1984, if you count Band-Aid, which I don't because it's a terrible song, as you'll soon find out. Freedom's like a slightly less bubblegummy version of Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, but it's still a bit too much bubblegummy for me. If you get bubblegum on the bottom of your shoes, you're a bit annoyed no matter how much is on there. If it's just a little bit of bubblegum, you're probably only a little bit less annoyed than if it was a massive bit of bubblegum, the size of your shoe. In terms of Freedom songs, I'd say Rage Against the Machine is number 1, George Michael's Solo is number 2, Wham is number 3. So this isn't even George Michael's best song called Freedom. But still, it's not a bad song. And again, respect to George Michael for writing, producing it. I gave Wake Me Up Before You Go Go a pair of 0s. I like Freedom slightly more, so I'm gonna give it a pair of 1s for a total score of 2 out of 10. Next up, I Feel For You, Chaka Khan. When I saw this song title, it just reminded me of Succession, We Here For You. And if you're thinking, oh, I Feel For You, isn't that a Prince song? Yeah, you're right, it is. And this is a cover of that Prince song. Not really a cover, it's more of a dance remix of it with Chaka Khan singing. The original is a good song. Chaka Khan did a good cover of a good song. It's pretty much the same song, sped up a bit, the drums are a bit louder, more energetic. There's a great harmonica that's been added, always a fan of that. There's also this geezer going like, Chaka Khan, let me rock you Chaka Khan. He does that quite a few times throughout the song. He's a bit like the DJ Khaled of 1984, whoever that guy is. The original is more romantic. This version's more energetic, so take your pick. I prefer the Prince version. I'd say you should listen to that one. But if you listen to that and you think, yeah, I like the melody, I like the structure, I just wish it was a bit more upbeat, then listen to the Chaka Khan version. Everyone's happy. A pair of 3s, 6 out of 10, not bad. Next up, I Should Have Known Better by Jim Diamond. Not a cover of the Sufjan Stevens song, sadly, and Jim is not a relative of Neil Diamond, sadly. Or gladly. I don't know if it's a good thing to be related to Neil Diamond or not. I don't know how good he is at buying Christmas presents. But this is a power ballad with what I consider the optimal amount of schmaltz. Paul McCartney, again, take notes please. It took until December 1984, but they finally figured out the perfect amount of schmaltz to have in a song. It's a fairly standard piano ballad, nothing too crazy. Imagine an 80s piano power ballad. That's what this sounds like. The thing that this song's got that most 80s piano power ballads that I've heard don't have is in the chorus, Jim goes like, ay, 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 ay. I can't tell if it's a car crash or Alex Turner in the Miracle Alina music video. Either way, I can't stop staring. I feel like Jim should have known better than to do that in a song, but I'm very glad that he didn't know better. I really think, oh sorry, ay, 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 ay. Really think that people of 1984 made a great choice in making this a song with that #1. So well done, people. I'll give this song a 1. I'll give it a 3 for reaching #1 for a total score of 4 out of 10. Next is another piano ballad, and it's another Frankie Goes to Hollywood song. It's The Power of Love. Frankie's third and final #1 of the year. That must be some kind of record. I hope they got an award for that. But they've had 3 songs. They've had a song about shagging, a song about war, and now we've got another song about shagging. Well, not really, it's kind of about cuddling. This is about cuddling afterwards, I think. A very intense cuddle. Like, you know, a nuke's about to be dropped on you, but you're still cuddling. Hey, it's like Winston and Julia in 1984. Hey, 1984, hey. I like the song, I don't love it. The power of like. The power of like. If I was ranking Frankie Goes to Hollywood #1 songs of 1984, 1 Relax, 2 Two Tribes, 3 The Power of Love, but I still like it. I was gonna give it a 2, but it's got some lyrics about vampires in it for no reason. I was trying to figure out why the vampires are mentioned. I thought maybe it was used in some Dracula film or something, but I don't think it was. So it just thought, oh yeah, vampires, let's stick them in. I'll bump it up to a 3 for that. Then for reaching #1, I'll give it another 3. They were on a bit of a run. People in 1984 couldn't get enough of them. All their 3 #1s were very different, I think. They contain multitudes. Their sexy song got to #1, their anti-war song got to #1, their vampire cuddling song got to #1. Good job, people. Good job, Frankie. And Frankie, well done on a great 1984. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from you in 1985 and onwards. 6 out of 10. Next, the final #1 of the year. It's Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. The people of 1984 celebrated Christmas by making one of the worst songs ever #1 for 5 weeks. I can't blame them too much. It was a charity song and it had a lot of big names in it. Some stars of this video were in it. George Michael was in it, Duran. Plus you've got Bono, Boy George, Sting, even Kool and the Gang got in there for some reason. Oi, Kool and the Gang, what are you doing there? Band-Aid is our thing. If you want to be on a charity supergroup song, wait another year for We Are the World. That's yours. That's for the Americans. Americans have that rubbish. We have this rubbish. But with all those people involved and all the publicity that I imagine it got, it was inevitable that this song would get to #1. Like, how could it not? If it was a regular for-profit song by Geldof and You, I'd be pretty annoyed that it got to #1 and stayed there for 5 weeks and became one of the best-selling songs of all time, because it's a pretty poor song. But because it is for charity and I'm not a completely black-hearted man, I'm gonna give it a 0 for reaching #1. Well done, more than it probably deserves. The song itself, like I've said, is pretty poor, I think. It's a bad song for a good cause. I wish it got released in like July, because then it would have been consigned to the history books. As soon as it got to 1985, the 1st of January at midnight, everyone would have forgotten about this. We'd never have to talk about it again. But because it was a Christmas song, every year it comes back. There's no escape from it. Even though it's Christmas, I'm still gonna have to score this song a -3. Not in the Christmas spirit, but sue me. For a total score of -3 out of 10 for Do They Know It's Christmas. I know, bar humbug. Maybe Christmas of 2026, we can just decide between us that this is a terrible song. We don't need to hear it every year just because it's for charity and it's got a lot of big names in it. It's still rubbish. I don't know. So there you go. That's all the #1s of 1984. And before I reveal the final score, I just want to make a couple of adjustments to some of my previous scores. Nothing major, only 3 songs from 2025 just because I've been hearing them and hearing them and hearing them. So my opinion on them has changed a little bit. First two, there were two songs that I gave a pair of 3s to. It was The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift and Daisies by Justin Bieber. Both of those, as I've heard them more and more, I've liked them more and more. So I'm upgrading the 3 that I gave to the song to a 4. So both of those are now 7 out of 10s. Well done, Justin and Taylor. And then the other one is Ordinary by Alex Warren, which the song is okay still, but I gave it a 2 and I'm downgrading that to a 1. The only thing I like about that song is the choir, really. But for being number 1, it was number 1 for 13 weeks and I didn't mark it down for that. I should have known better. So I originally gave it a 2 for being number 1, but I'm downgrading that all the way down to a -3. So that song is now scored at a -2, which means that 2025 has gone from a 1.8 to a 1.53. But we're not here to talk about 2025. We're here to talk about 1984, literally 1984. And I can now reveal the final score for 1984 is a massive 4.71 out of 10. Which means that as it stands, 1984 is the best year for music ever. George Orwell would be absolutely buzzing right now. Let's quickly see how 1984 has affected the big artist leaderboard. At the top, we've got Frankie Goes To Hollywood, joint first with Queen. The top was a bit of a mess with a load of artists on 10 points, so I've put them all into a special zone that they can escape once they get more than 10. At the bottom, not much change I don't think. Paul McCartney is there now, which feels bad, but hopefully in future videos there'll be some more poor songs that will push Paul up a bit. And there you have it, 1984. Next videos, I've got about 4 that are nearly done. Let's go every My Chemical Romance song ranked worst to best. I got to the end, I basically finished it and realised that My Chemical Romance, they've got about 80 songs. About 25 of them I really like, about 10 I really don't like. All the rest I've got absolutely no opinion on. So I need to spice that video up a bit somehow. Was 1979 the best year for music ever? That's about halfway done. Look out for that soon. I've got a remake of every Muse song ranked worst to best once their new album comes out. I've also got another video I'm working on. It involves the World Cup, but it's about music. The World Cup will almost definitely be long finished by the time that video comes out. But even if that video takes 5 years, I'll still be buzzing from England winning the World Cup, which they definitely will. Definitely. If England don't win the World Cup, I'll give everyone that watches this video £50 billion. Come on. But thanks for watching. Good luck to your country in the World Cup, unless you're playing England. So sorry for anyone in Croatia, Ghana, Panama. We're gonna destroy all of you, and we're gonna destroy absolutely everyone else we face, guaranteed. But see you later. Cheers.